Nobody wants to say this is happening here.
I, for as long as I can remember, have been a very safe person. I've followed the rules all my life. I'm, straight A student.
80% of sexual assaults are from a person that you know, a date, an acquaintance, a friend, a family member, a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend.
It doesn't matter how careful you are, it can still happen.
That statistic in and of itself proves to us that it doesn't matter who you are, because 80% of those assaults are from people that we know and often love.
I moved here in the fall of 2018 to start my freshman year. Freshman year, I feel like hits you like a truck and you just go really fast. I got really involved really quick, which was good, but also really stressful, and I overwhelmed myself. But I feel like freshman year, you have an energy that you never have again. I drove up to College Station over the summer to go celebrate my sister's 21st birthday. And the guy that I was really good friends with insisted that we stay with him. There was a moment when I left my drink and I came back and I finished it. About an hour later, I collapsed and blacked out and started seizing, and I didn't understand what was happening at the time. I was going in and out of consciousness, and that was the moment that he took advantage of me. It took me weeks to realize, but even longer to accept that I had been drugged. I had friends that were there at the time that knew what happened, and I love them and they mean well, but they told me that it didn't count and that I didn't have to count it if I didn't want to. I think in an attempt to make me feel better about it, I think that forced me to kind of suppress all of it until it cracked. I just didn't see a scenario where calling the police and going to the station and walking through it would be helpful. I didn't think I could prove it. The guy who assaulted me, I don't think anyone would believe he's a criminal. He's popular and successful and rich and kind, and I don't think anyone would believe and be able to put those two things together, because sometimes I even struggle with that, and I can't think about the person I thought he was and match it with his actions.
Sexual assault affects the entire person. It affects their economics, their ability to show up and be present at work. It affects their family relationships. It affects their romantic relationships.
It's been 2 years since I was assaulted, and I think time does help, and I think that the healing process looks very different for everyone. But it's not something that goes away. It's something that disrupts people's lives and it derails people. If it doesn't affect you personally, look around, because someone next to you has been through this. I know that SARC is one of the only reasons that I was able to pull through what I went through. I don't know what I would have done without it. I wasn't in a place financially where I could support myself going to counseling, and I struggled in high school with mental health, so I knew what it was like to be in a deep depression, and I had been suicidal before and had grown past that and had healed from that. And then when I was assaulted, I have never felt more alone and depressed and suicidal in my life, which really scared me more than anything, because I was afraid of how I didn't want to be alive anymore and how I didn't know how to move past it. And I think without SARC, I don't know if I would have been able to.
Every piece of the work that we do is geared around survivors and putting them first and ensuring that our programs are sustainable, that they're best practices, and that we're taking charge of that work.
It's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to have doubts and to be scared and to be confused. It's okay to feel all of those things. It does get better, and your story matters.